Okay. Lakshman Kosaraju. Lakshman, you are there? Right. So we were looking at S matrix formulations. Clear? So a small recap. We were looking at S matrix formulations. Right. So Harshavina.
Yes, sir.
How do you find the S matrix? What is the method by which you can arrive at S matrix of a device? Okay, Harshavina, name one device. Name one device for which you need to find Harshavina, S matrix. Harshavina, tell me. Sri Kumar.
Sir,
Right.
maybe, sir, using, sir, am I audible?
You are audible. No problem.
Yes, sir. Using VNA, sir.
Okay. Using the name one device for which you will find the S matrix. Sri Kumar.
Sir,
Sri Kumar, name one device for which you need to find S matrix. There is a requirement to find S matrix. Name one device. Okay. Right. Aditya, 203 Aditya. 203 Aditya.
sir,
Name one device for which you need to find S matrix.
microwave.
Microwave is a frequency range. I wanted a device name for which you will find S matrix.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
Right? I don't know, sir.
You don't know. So why do you need S matrix then? Simple. Aditya, if you don't know the device for which you need to find S matrix, then what is the need for S matrix? Tell me that question first. Or why are we studying this S matrix?
Sir, I didn't prepare anything. Sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Right. Shivani. Right, guys. I'm here to try to make your life as much meaningful as possible. That's my main aim. Not to pump in concepts into you. I'm trying my level best to put it through in a most elegant fashion. Try to understand it. Otherwise, you are welcome to make this subject a very idiotic subject. Right. So S matrix formulation required for devices at high frequencies. Right. So it is just that you decided on a standard called vector network analyzer, which will produce this S matrix. It will take some measurement. You don't worry about those measurements. People have decided like that. Clear. At high frequency, you have the voltage and phase shift problems. So they decided that this device will do the thing, will produce the S matrix. Right, and the analytical formulation is Sij is equal to Vi minus by Vj plus Vk plus equal to 0. K not equal to J. That is, you have to just get it is always defined as the ratios of voltages going out at each port to voltage coming out at coming in at one port. Clear? Right? So this is the way in which S matrix, as you can interpret it like this. That's all. Clear? The fact is you will directly get the S matrix from VNA. You don't need to worry about the voltage measurement and all. Clear? So this is the overall idea there. So here you should know that, for example, take a 2-port device. Okay, the recap is over. Take a 2-port device. Right, it may be an amplifier, it may be an oscillator. So let us have it as input, let us have it as output. Usually this is called as port 1, port 2 is just a convention. You can have it the either way also, no problem. Right, so you will get matrices like this. This VNA will directly give you 4 terms, which you are calling like this S21 and S22. Now, what is the meaning that you attach to this S matrix depends on the functionality of the device. Meaning attached to this reading. Right? It is depending on the functionality. Right? Just as with a voltmeter, you can measure the voltage across the diode and you get it as 0.7 volts if it has gone into the active region. Right? But the same voltmeter, you can measure the voltages across a resistor and you can call that as the potential difference across the resistor. The device is same voltmeter. The meaning you give to the voltages is up to you, depending on what is the device. Similarly, any device, any electronic component, let it be a transmission line, let it be an amplifier, oscillator, anything at high frequency, you characterize using S matrix. Why? Please go back into the previous classes. At high frequency, what are the issues? So they decided on these things. Meaning attached to this reading depends on the functionality of the device. Right. So till this point, if anybody has got any doubts, please clarify, because now I am going to get into it. Now I'll slowly get into an N-port device. Only then this Vk plus equal to 0 I can explain. Vk plus equal to 0 I have to explain. Now in the previous class I had shown a 3-port device. So in a waveguide, based scenario, right? N-port device is feasible. N-port device is possible. Right? For example, in the previous class, I think I showed you a power divider like this, which will have 3 ports, 1, 2, and 3. Clear? Circuit terminology, more than 2 ports is very difficult. Circuits world having N ports is not common. That's it. Maybe there, but in a waveguide terminology, this N-port device is very, very clear. So for an N-port device, right, we will have it like this. So let us just draw an N-port device here. Right, just understand that this is 1, 2, 3. You are just keeping on port numbering it. Right, now let us just look at it. Sij. So here it will be V1 minus, which goes back, and V1 plus which comes in. So this is the usual nomenclature. So Vi minus by Vj plus Vk plus equal to 0, K not equal to J. So what does this thing represent? Now the first discussion in today's class is what does this represent? Right, the idea is S matrix is ratio of two voltages, but under a condition like this. Who can come into picture? Shilpa is there? Shilpa?
Yes, sir.
Shilpa, what does that condition mean? Are you clear with the classes till now?
Sort of. I think I remember you mentioning something about how when there's an input, then the other ports can't also should the value should be 0, otherwise there'll be an imbalance and the reading won't be accurate.
No. The thing is, you are to implement it like this. What does this mean? V K not equal to J. What does that mean? When I said yes, I J.
So if Vj is the voltage at 1, then there can't be any other voltages coming from the other ports.
Yeah, great. Superb. Thank you, Shilpa. So the condition is quite simple. If you have a N port device, you should always ensure that this Vj plus, this is actually the input. So let me just put it like this. This is the output, the required output port, and this is the corresponding input port. You are only finding out the relation between these two things. So what the S matrix definition is telling is at any port, let me go back. At any port other than input, right? That is why they called it as K not equal to J. At any port other than input, the incoming power should be 0. The incoming or input should be 0. There should not be any input. That's all. Clear? So only if there is some microwave power coming and incident on it, then there is a equivalent voltage, then only you can have this Vk plus and all those things. Clear? So this is quite a important thing. When you are concerned about two ports, every other port, there should not be any plus wave. Please understand that there can be a minus wave. Minus wave is something going out. That is allowed. But there should not be anything that comes out. Getting the idea? This is you may think that this is a very silly condition, but you have to understand this. Say I am worried about the relation between 2 and 1. Clear? I am giving input at 1. I am finding the output at 2. But while doing so, at 3 and all the ports till n, you can have the outgoing wave, but you should not have any incoming wave. Clear? Right? This is what I am trying to tell there. Right? So if anybody has got any doubt there, please do ask me. This is because the next point that I am going to tell is going to be more critical. So let me put it in writing here. Say for a 4-port device. 4-port device. We are concerned about S21. Then during measurement, right, V2 minus is the output, V1 plus is the input, V2 plus, V3 plus and V4 plus all should be 0. Right, there should not be any incoming wave into the idea, right? But it is not necessary that V2 minus, V3 minus and V4 minus need to be 0. Right? V2 minus is already there. V3 minus and V4 minus needn't be 0. It is not there. You can have V3 minus and V4 minus because that may be the device's functionality. Clear? But you should not have V3 plus and V4 plus. This is what we are trying to tell there. Clear? So the in words it is like there should be no incoming power. Clear? There should be no incoming power at these ports. So what does that physically translate means? Physically, right, at all other ports that are not involved in measurement, right, input to be 0 or the port should be matched. This is the idea. Clear? Right? Because if you connect some unwanted devices there will be some reflections there. So please be careful. We'll come to know what is the idea of this matched thing and all. Clear? Why you should match it. Right? So if you have an N-port device, you are worried about 1 and 2. Clear? There is another port. This is unused for measurement purpose. Unused for measurement. Right? Then we should match it. That is the main thing there. Match. What do you mean by match? Clear? What we should do is at 3 we should attach a device that will not create any reflections. That will not create any reflections, or a V3 plus to be more clear. Right? It will not give back any wave. It will just absorb the wave that is coming at 3. Clear? The device should completely absorb V3 minus. Right? This is quite important. We have such devices and that is available along with the VNA. Right? And that device is called as matched load. Device is called matched load. Right? This is a one port device. Right? It will have a waveguide piece. It will be just having one port, only one port. This has to be attached. Right? It is just like in a plumbing section. If you have a junction point and you don't want water through one connection, what do? You just close the tap there. In a similar fashion, I am telling you, but don't take the example as it is. This has to be more clear. V3 plus shouldn't be created and the V3 minus should be completely absorbed. If it is not completely absorbed, there will be V3 plus. Clear? This is one way, or a big or no source should be connected. Either of these things shouldn't happen. No source should be connected. Should be connected at port 3 or the unused port. Hope I am making my things clear. This is the complete idea of the formulation of S matrix. Clear? And now you would be clear that when you have a 2-port network, this is not at all an issue, but the idea came when it went for a waveguide based device where there were scope for multiple ports. In that case, what should you do with the other ports when you are doing one measurement? This is what they are. The Vk plus equal to 0 assumes importance. If you are doing it for a simple oscillator filter or something two-port transmission line, there is no need for this. But if it is a multi-port power divider and all those things, then these problems do come into picture. Right. So this is the idea there. This is one thing which all of you have to understand. What is the idea of Vk plus equal to 0? Next is standard value of impedance. Standard value of impedance. Right. The VNA plus the cable. Right. All operate at 50 ohms. This has been decided by the Industries Association. Electronics Industries Association. Right. So all these devices operate at 50 ohms. Clear? By default, then if you connect your device or component to VNA and get the matrix, what does S11 represent? Can anybody answer this? Sriram, can you take a call?
Yes, sir.
Sriram, I had told that the Industries Association has calibrated the VNA and cable at 50 ohms. Right, they have made it like that. Now, if you connect that VNA to your device while you are taking reading, what does that S11 represent?
S11 will be reflection, sir. Again.
Reflections, or I can tell that how much is the input impedance
Mismatch.
away from 50 ohms?
Yes, sir. Mismatch in the impedance level.
Yeah, mismatch with respect to 50 ohms. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Right. So thank you. So for everybody's thing, see this Industries Association reflection coefficient is always one impedance minus the other impedance by the sum of the impedance. So one impedance has been standardized at 50 ohms. Right. Now in high frequency engineering, as you go forward, you will always hear this term 50, 50, 50. At that time, I want you to understand this. The VNA and the cable, the measurement setup has been standardized for 50 ohms. So whatever S11 you are getting, what does it represent? It just represents that how much you are deviating from 50 ohms. For example, if your device input impedance is also 50 ohms, S11 will be 0. Clear? So if how much your device input impedance differs from 50. Clear? So you are expected. So in the RF industry, the Electronics Industries Association has maintained that the input and output impedances should be 50 ohms. Right? That is why they calibrated the VNA and the cable as 50 ohms. So if you get the S11 and S22, it tells you how much it is deviating from 50 ohms. Is this point clear? See, I told you, this high frequency engineering is all about standards, high frequency standards. So you should not have some 50 ohms has been a value that has been decided by the industry. So when you design an amplifier, that also should have input impedance and output impedance 50. So the basic check is S11 and S22 will give you an idea that how much it is differing from 50. Clear? And you'll always try to make it 50. So you will have S11.001 or something. That's okay, but you will get an idea of this 50 ohms. Clear? So this is something that you have to understand. In placement also, they may ask this question. What is this concept of 50 ohms, 50 ohms, 50 ohms? Clear? So at high frequencies, the characteristic impedance of system has been fixed as 50 ohms. This is a fact. Everybody manufactures to this idea. Clear? Whether it is a transmission line, the cable has to have 50 ohm impedance. If it is an amplifier, the input impedance should be 50 ohm. Output impedance you should manufacture such that it is 50 ohms. Even if it is a filter, it should have that. If it is an oscillator, at the output side, it should be 50 ohms. Right? So this is to prevent this mismatch and reflections. Getting it? This is an important thing that you have to note down. There is a small standardization available here, so please understand this. Clear? So whatever value of S11, if S11 goes to 1, it means that your input impedance is completely away from 50. Right? It is not at all required there. Right? Is it okay? Clear? So this is an important idea. One more concept you need to know. Right? This is with respect to waveguides. Right, with respect to waveguides, these are all some standard things. There is no big, there is a theory behind it, but people have standardized the things, waveguides, right? So if you have an N-port device, if you have N-port device, right? So what they say is summation. I'll tell you how to interpret it. K is equal to 1 to N Ski into Skj star is equal to delta Ij. This is a delta function. Delta Ij means equal to 1 when I equal to j, equal to 0 when I not equal to j. What is it telling? K is equal to 1 to n and all those things. K is the number of ports. The idea is your S matrix has amplitude and phase because it is fundamentally a voltage representation. So it can be written as an A plus IB or R comma theta. So either way you can write your S matrices. So that is why that star came there. So what it tells is if you have a 3-port network, right, what it is trying to tell there is the Ski by SSKI and Skj. So S11 into S11 star plus S21 into S21 star plus S31 into S31 star is equal to 1. Right, that is if you take a column and multiply with the conjugate, it is equal to 1. Right, take a column. Right, multiply with its own conjugate. Own conjugate and add. Result is 1. Right, so this is what they are trying to tell there. These are some analytical relations in S matrix that you will get. The other analytic condition is S11 into S12 star plus S21 into S22 star plus S31 into S32 star. This is equal to 0. This is as per the matrix condition. Ski into Skj. Right, when I equal to j, things are matched or things are you will get 1, otherwise it is 0. These are two analytical conditions that we are trying to do there. So what are we trying to tell there? See, what does it fundamentally say? That is what the main thing. Clear? What does one column represent? What does one column represent? You should understand that actually. right? S1 1, S2 1, S3 1, right? This all means input at 1, input at port 1, output at other ports. Right, so one column means it is just that you give input at one port and see what is the output at another port. This is the main idea there, right? So this what they are trying to tell there is by the lossless condition. If you take the same column and multiply it is 1, if you go into the different column, it is 0, right? It is a very linear algebra type relations. We will just finish off with the meaning of that, right? So if you the same column, so input, you give input at port 1. If you just multiply with the conjugate, what do you get? You get squares there actually. So you can write it as S11 squared plus S21 squared plus S31 squared equal to 1, right? S11 is actually, so if you take specifically, it will be V1 minus by V1 plus the whole squared plus V2 minus by V1 plus the whole squared plus V3 minus by V1 plus the whole squared. Right, what they are trying to tell us, whatever is coming out as V1 minus, V2 minus, V3 minus, this voltage square is nothing but power. Right, so V1 plus is common. Whatever input you give here, it has to be conveniently come out through the other ports. Right, there is no way it can go somewhere. Clear? So this is with respect to waveguides, junctions and all, these things are common. But if you take the other thing, multiplying two columns. Multiplying two columns means clear. So column 1 represents input at 1, output at other ports. Column 2, input at 2, output at other ports. Right, so for a waveguide based system, these things are independent of each other. That's all. This is what they are trying to tell there. For a waveguide based system, these events are independent. Right, what happens to a particular port when input is given at 1 is independent of what happens to the same port when the input is given at 2. Now that's all. There is no big meaning here attached. I'm just this last matrix thing. I'm just giving it as because it is given significance in the textbook. That is why I'm just telling that. But the main idea is the 50 ohms concept. You should really understand what is meant by the 50 ohm concept, and then you should know these two properties of S matrices. This is what we are trying to do here. Is that okay? Right? That column wise multiplication, row wise multiplication are all additional properties of S matrix, which will help you in lots of things. When you come into actual world of measurements, sometimes you may not be able to measure all the things, and those times these analytical concepts can help you. Right. So these are the two main concepts that I wanted to discuss today. How to interpret the values of S matrix and some properties of S matrix as stated in the textbook. Is it okay? Right. Now for the concluding thing, I am just going to write a matrix representation. So for a 2-port device, right? Right. So this has an S matrix. Clear? For our mathematical purposes, this is actually written like this. Right? You will understand this correctly. If you multiply, you will get back the values. So I'll write it as V1 minus is equal to S11 into V1 plus S12 into V2 plus. V2 minus is equal to S21 into V1 plus S22 into V2 plus. So these are the equation forms of S matrix. This will be more useful in certain points. Equations form for S matrix. If it is an n-port device, it keeps on increasing. I am not writing it here, but it's just, I think it is understandable, right? So if you want to take the definition of S11, S11 is nothing but V1 minus by V1 plus V2 plus equal to 0. So it comes out correctly. S12 is V1 minus by V2 plus V1 plus equal to 0. So if you look into this definition, things turn out correctly, right? Now this form is more useful for our analytical purposes. Right? Directly connecting the device to a VNA, getting the S matrix, your job is done. But in our for example, in our subject, we are going to do certain analytical studies about the scattering matrix. So we are now trying to cast it in the form of an equation. Clear? So this is required for analytical studies. That's all. For analytical studies. Clear? Otherwise, when you measure it, you don't need these equations and all. You get the values directly. Right? So we'll stop here. I think it had taken much of many data today. So has anybody got any doubt or anything? I'm ready to answer it. It's 9:37. Yeah, 3 minutes there. So today's idea was slowly expanding the definition of S matrix and what are the things that can be done with it and how to use it. Right? Still, I am very sad. In the initial part of the class, I asked many people what is S matrix meant for, and I feel I have taken considerably good number of classes for explaining the significance of S matrix representation. So I am requesting again and again for those people to please go and study that correctly, because without understanding the need for S matrix, the analysis of S matrix becomes meaningless. Right. So we'll stop the class here and I am ready for doubts. Actually, today's class is not a big deal for those who have understood all that first initial classes. It will be life as usual for those people who have not understood the first 5 or 6 classes. Anyway, I am here to clarify your doubt. Please ask me. Yeah, tell me.
So when we're talking about like an import device, that's like an amplifier or an oscillator or something like that, right?
No, amplifier and oscillator is predominantly 2-port. I showed you in that waveguide, no, a 3-port device and all.
Yeah.
So only in the waveguide scenario, this n-port itself becomes meaningful.
Right. No, I was wondering, like, what exactly is a VNA and how is it related to the device?
Good. VNA is a high frequency voltmeter. That's all.
All right.
You have seen a voltmeter at low frequency in our lab?
Yeah.
Good. At high frequency, measurements are not stable because of the wavelength problems. This was discussed in the 3rd class. The dimensions of the device and the wavelength become same. Even when taking transmission line class, I had told that you get into the idea of electrically long structures. Getting it, Shilpa?
Yeah.
So when you have electrically long structures, if you measure voltages with your voltmeter, it will be wrong. So they devised an idea called a high frequency voltmeter, which they gave the name vector network analyzer with all the connectors, everything standardized You
Okay.
just measure with this device. That's it.
Okay.
Right?
And
Don't
it gives you the values that you use in the S matrix.
It gives you an S matrix, the S matrix whose definition we are studying, whose interpretation we can give. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that
So
makes
that is
sense.
why we started off with S matrix is nothing but relation of voltages at 2 ports. Now, what is this voltage that the VNA takes care? That's it.
Okay. All right.
There is a standard involved in it. Nobody goes into. That's what the Electronics Industries Association has standardized it. Otherwise, we won't proceed ahead with the equipments. We will be still researching at device level. So they kept a standard and went ahead. That's all. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Right. People who don't have doubts can log off.
Hello, sir.
Others can be in the meeting. No issues. Yeah. People who don't have doubts can log off. Yeah. Yes,
Hello,
Rahul.
sir.
Yes, Rahul. Tell me.
Sir, today my laptop got stuck, sir. So I joined late, sir. I
That's
joined
okay.
at
That's
9,
okay.
10, I guess.
That's okay. That's okay. Anybody has got doubts? You can ask me. Others can log off and go for the next class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir?
Yes. Who's that?
Sir, this is Banu, sir.
Tell me, Banu. Tell me. Yeah.
Sir, if we connect a 3-port wavewide to the VNA, sir, so we need to take one port, for the one port we should not give any input, sir.
Banu, only 2 ports can be had for consideration at a time. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So that was what I was telling. What will you do with the 3rd port?
Yeah, we match it or we don't give any.
Yeah, you should not attach any power source, and there is something called as a matching device. You will connect it to that port. That's it.
Yes, sir. Then
Okay.
the VNA gives only a single column, sir. Then the remaining.
No. You are connecting input to one port, output at another port. You will get a 2x2 matrix, correct?
Okay, sir. Okay.
And that 2x2 matrix is for those 2 devices, correct? Those 2 ports.
Yes, sir.
If you are if you are taking a 3n port device, which say 3-port device, first you will connect 1 and 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you will get S11, S22, S21, S12. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then you will connect 1 and 3.
Okay, sir.
Right. Now you will again get the same S11 and you will get the S33. What you are reading is S33, but you will get S31 and S13. Correct?
Yes, sir.
But the S11 is same. You have got in the same previous thing. S11 is giving input at the same port and finding out reflection. So that value will again repeat. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Then you will connect port 2 and 3. Then you will get S23 and S32. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Banu, hope I am making my idea clear.
Yes, sir. It is clear.
For a VNA, at a time, you can connect only 2 ports.
Okay, sir.
Right? And then the other unused ports should be matched. Now it is a cumbersome time. If you have a 5-port device, you have to keep on rotating, connect all the ports and get the transfer relations. Getting it? The self relations are going to be the same. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
S11, yes, the main diagonal is going to be the same. It will keep on repeating in many measurements, but the other transfer elements we can easily find out. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, how we can say how much it is differ by 50 ohms impedance? We got only the reflection coefficient, no, sir.
Correct. Akhil, what is the reflection coefficient measurement? Z1 minus Z2 by Z1 plus Z2, correct?
Yes, sir.
Difference of impedance by sum of impedances, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now that VNA cable is attached to the device input, correct?
Yes, sir.
So which is Z2 device input, correct?
Yes, sir.
You want me to? I'll just draw it. Just a minute. Akhil, please wait there. I'll tell you.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Akhil, are you able to see the Word document?
Yes, sir.
Akhil, this is a 2-port device. Okay. This is port. Clear? This has got one Z. Clear? I'll write it as Z device, right? You have a VNA which is having a cable and that is going to be connected here. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this has another thing called Z cable, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you mean by reflection coefficient? Power is coming like this, getting it, right? So you will write it as ZD minus ZC by ZD plus ZC,
Yes, sir.
right? Now ZC is standardized.
Yes, sir. Then we'll find the ZD.
Yeah, standardized to 50 ohms. They have standardized it. So if reflection coefficient is really high, ZD is really varying from ZC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If reflection coefficient is very less, what does that mean? If the reflection coefficient is very less, I can tell ZD is very equal to ZC, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's all. That is the idea that we are getting. So what is ZC? 50. So how much ZD is different from 50? We will get an idea. That's all done.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Getting it? If the reflection coefficient is a very negligible value, it is almost same. You have done a good job of designing it. That's all.
Yes, sir. I understood, sir.
Getting it? Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody?
Sir, the S matrix mainly is the reflection coefficients, right? Related to the input and output ports.
Yes, 1, the self coefficient.
The self coefficient, yes, S11 or S13 when we are relating to first.
S22 or S33, the self coefficient.
Okay, sir.
The transfer coefficient means if it is involving 2 ports, it is the transfer coefficient. You can call it whatever name. In amplifier, it is called a gain. In attenuator, it is called a loss. Either way.
Then, sir, I wanted to ask if we make a good device, right? Then
No,
what?
the idea is what is that device?
Oh.
Right. That was what I was telling. It can be an amplifier. It can be an oscillator. It can be a filter. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So if I'm worried about creating an amplifier, I'm just telling you that S21 should be really high, correct?
Yes, sir. Transfer coefficient should be really high.
Definitely. If I am worried about making an attenuator, opposite of amplifier, S21 should be less than 1.
Yes, sir. Yes.
This you should have because you're only going to design something and testing it with the VNA. Getting it?
Yes, sir. Understood.
So that's why I can call it device. But when you ask a question, the device should have some specificity. Or if it is a simple transmission line, a piece of transmission line, a 1 meter long transmission line. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That is also 2-port device.
Yes, it's a 2-port device. Means from one port it goes, from the other it comes.
Yeah. So the S21 should be unity. It should not have any loss. Simple.
Yes, transfer coefficient should be unity.
That's all. So it depends on that is what I was insisting from the first. I have to tell it as device, but the functionality of the device keeps on changing, depends on what is that device. Getting it?
Understood, sir. And according to that, we change the S matrix, that how
You
the
don't
device.
change, the VNA will give the S matrix, and you have to just verify it whether you have designed it correctly. Getting it?
Understood.
You will design an amplifier at high frequency. You will connect it to a VNA, check it whether you have reached the design spec or not. That's all.
Okay.
In a low frequency, what you did, you wired it on the breadboard, you connected the voltmeters and ammeters and checked whether your design was correct. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
At high frequency, you don't do that. You have this, they have standardized the things, connected directly to the S matrix, VNA, get the S matrix, check it out.
Understood, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Super. Nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yes.
are the input signals the EM waves or the voltage, sir?
VNA gives a high frequency signal. That's all.
I know whether it is EM signal or voltage signal, sir.
It is a voltage signal. It is not a wave. It is a V by V voltage or current signal, as you called it. Correct. Just as you have a signal generator giving you 100 kilohertz wave, VNA will give you a signal at 1 gigahertz or 2 gigahertz, whatever you specify. Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Anything else? It's 9:50. You have to go to the next class.